lovely Wednesday morning. I'm super excited already. It's midweek. Oh, I cannot wait for the weekend. The moment it gets to Wednesday, Thursday, you see me, it seems more like my energy will be going down, you know? But I know many people can relate to what I'm saying. Okay, good morning and welcome to today's edition of Health Revolution. It's your daily tonic for healthy living. And I'd like to say thanks to you, Barry Cosmos, for handing over the microphone to me, myself and I, Mary Omeniwo. They call me the Slim Diva. You're most adorable.
And I am Judge Dawn Ikoma.
So Barry would always leave you behind and go out to have fun. Which day are we going to retaliate? And just abandon him all alone here for 2 hours.
That day is coming.
That day is coming.
Yeah.
We're going to work towards it. And I will stand behind you as usual. We're live on Facebook at Echo FM 100.7. Go like, share, and drop your comments. I'll be dropping one or two tips for you on what you are to comment on this morning. All right, so before we begin, quickly, I'd like to, first of all, condemn in its entirety the xenophobic attacks going on in South Africa. In fact, I saw videos yesterday and I was moved to shed tears. Women being chased around naked. Oh my goodness. Who does that in this 21st century? What barbaric attitude do Africans have? I'm sorry I'd have to generalize this. This is not the first time we hear about xenophobic attacks. Almost every year or almost every 2 years, we keep hearing of xeno, and it's only South Africa. Usually, all the time. And nothing has been done about it. And this is why I always keep talking about not just finding solutions, finding permanent solutions. If Nigeria had acted years ago, I don't think anybody would raise their fist on any Nigerian. You can't try it with a US citizen. You cannot. Right from when I was a child, even up until now that I am an adult, at the mention of Donald Trump, bam, everywhere don't they shake. Yes. Why can't we emulate what is happening in other climes? Why? Every time Nigeria. I understand that we are hardworking people. I understand that when it comes to industrialization, now we be number one. You can't take it away from us, especially the Igbo people. God blessed us with that gift. I told you a story of a woman who I know. Let me just use her as a typical example and other people can relate. She started off with a kiosk, just a bacha, small table like this. Go and see her. She has 3 shops in one of the biggest markets in the southeast. I will not mention. She's into babies. 3 shops. If you see, in fact, the day I visited, I was shocked and I was amazed. Wow. That is to tell you that somehow we are gifted. When it comes to business, when it comes to whatever form of career you have chosen.
What has to do with your hands?
Yes. The moment you set out your mind to achieve it, you will definitely achieve it. And then you now see other people becoming envious. How is it our fault? How is it? Now you're saying those that want to come back should come back. For people who have established there for years, where will they start from? They have properties everywhere. So are you saying they should abandon their properties and come back to Nigeria? What measures have you put on ground? We keep asking these questions and we don't get answers. I'm going to go political now. Barry Cosmos. I hate politics. I do with all passion. I do not like to talk about anything that has to do with government and all of that because I just feel that most times we talk and we talk and we talk and nothing is done. Okay, Oshomele is saying, let us tell DSTV, MTN, and some of the companies that belong to South Africa to pack their bags and go. Yes, I agree. However, what measures have we put in place? Yes, I'm sorry, I'm going to mention brands. We have Glow, right? It's a Nigerian network provider. How far does it go? How many people use that network? Yes, let us be realistic. And how has the government supported its own? In those days growing up, we used to have, is it Nitel? Remind me, please. Nitel.
V-Mobile.
Thank you. Do we have a national network as I speak with you?
No.
So you're saying they should pack their bags and go. They will gladly go one day. What are we going to fall back on? It's a food for thought, oh. I keep saying it all the time. Don't say, she has started pointing. I will point fingers until we wake up. I think we are sleeping. We are still sleeping. Yes, we are sleeping. At how old? How old is Imo State? Let's not even go to Nigeria. We are still sleeping. Someone wakes up now and says, I want to have a network, I want to be a network provider so that Nigerians, you pull it down. Taxation, here and there. Bobo, yeah. Kai, I don't want to go political. But it is horrible. Oh. I saw those videos and I was triggered emotionally. And I told myself, you know what, and I'm going to talk about this. And I have let it off my chest. However, let us learn to start doing the right things and then prepare for the worst. You know?
Yeah.
Now it has happened. The other time it happened sometime, it was, what is the name of the CEO of Airpeace, Onyama or so. He was the one who, I think he released one of his aircrafts to go pick up some people that were stranded. Maybe now they are looking at him again. Why can't the country do something? Let's leave that talk for another day. Okay, today I promise you the program will be interesting as usual, but we have got some updates for you. I'll start off with this one that says the National Agency for Food and Drug Administration and Control yesterday arraigned a Lagos-based trader by name Chidera Chukwuka before the Federal High Court in Lagos over alleged unlawful possession, manufacture and distribution and also display of unwholesome processed alcoholic products. Now, Chukwuka, who is 30 years, was arraigned before Justice Ambrose on a 6-count charge bordering on alleged production and sale of counterfeit alcoholic beverages. Now, for the benefit of this information, I would mention the brands that he and other people were able to counterfeit, right?
Yeah.
Johnny Walker, popular brand.
Johnny Walker.
Red Label, popular brand. Lott's Dry Gin, London Dry Gin, Gordon's Dry Gin. These are popular brands that Nigerian, especially men, take. There's no gathering you do not find these brands. So I decided to actually bring up the story. It's trending. It happened yesterday. He was arraigned before the court. The truth of the matter is, if you go to some places, Onitsha, Aba, even in this our Imo, it's just that they've not been discovered. People use their backyards to produce dry gin and alcoholic beverages for people to consume. You go to all of the wine shops, you will find these brands. They are selling out, you know? And then they counterfeit these things. The moment you're done drinking them, liver problem. Kidney problem. And you're asking, why we will not have high cases of these things. And then we have people living in that environment where these counterfeit alcoholic beverages are produced and they keep mute instead of sounding the alarm so that NAFDAC and security agencies will swing into action. You keep quiet. And then they'll just come, wake up in the morning, carry drums, mix, I don't even know those things they mix it, turn it together, bring used bottles. Oh my goodness.
Mixologist.
Wow. Okay, that's one update that we have. And then another update, we are getting this information all the way from Delta State. The Nigerian Association of Resident Doctors, NAD, has condemned the assault on one of its members at the Delta State University Teaching Hospital, warning that continued attacks on health workers could trigger wider industrial action. Now, the NAD Association, in a statement sent to newsmen yesterday, described the incident as barbaric and a direct threat to the safety of healthcare professionals. They said that this particular incident that made them to go on strike happened yesterday during a protest by members of their host community. That is the community where that hospital is located. While they were doing that protest, they barricaded the hospital gates over grievances related to staff employment. We see this all the time, right? And then, in the midst of that unrest, in the midst of that, protest, this particular medical doctor by name Harrison Aja was said to have been trying to calm them down.
Okay.
And then he had a guest who was coming to see him at the hospital on a motorcycle. So he went to calm them and he tried to make way for the motorcyclist to come in. Bam, they pounced on him.
The medical doctor.
Yes, so, and they beat him blue black. He was attacked and injured. They injured his eardrum. And in fact, you see injuries all over his body. If not for the intervention of bystanders, I hardly think that man would have survived. A medical doctor in this country, please stop attacking healthcare workers.
We've said it before.
We've been saying it, and I will keep saying it, even if I have to take the whole day to say it. Why? Many have left the country. The remaining that we have, let us value them. Because this one now that they beat up, he might decide not to go back to work.
Yes.
And the ratio of one doctor to patients is Guinea. Remind me, Don.
5,000.
Bam. One doctor to 5,000 patients in Nigeria as we speak right now, according to research, not according to me and Don in the studio. I'll stop there. And the last update. Oh my goodness. Oh my God. Okay, don't mind me. I'm just trying to make you understand what's going on in the country, right? And this one says, a representative of the World Health Organization, Dr. Philip Soto, has called on the government and other stakeholders to collaborate on policies that promote the rational use of antibiotics, as well as raise awareness to reduce the prevalence of antimicrobial resistance. Now, he disclosed that antimicrobial resistance has claimed about 4.1 million lives, apart from the money that is expended on health issues, right? He says it deserves urgent attention. Antimicrobial resistance, according to Dr. Soto, is an escalating global crisis that has a lot of implications. And if nothing is done about it, it's going to be our next epidemic. All right, so we're going to be linking the topic for today to what Dr. Soto has said about antimicrobial resistance. However, we shall come from another angle. And trust me, it's going to be an eye-opener for you and I, right? Yeah. And we'll have a guest join us via the phone. So let's try to connect with him. I know he has been on standby, and I pray that network will allow us to do justice to the conversation this morning. I'm trying to see if I can get connected to him this morning, and we'll start off from there. Okay, let's see. It's ringing already. Famchuka is going to be our guest for today. I call him Famchuka. He's also a doctor. So, Dr. Famchuka. Okay, good morning to you, Dr. Chuka.
Good morning.
Good morning.
What a delight to have you this morning. How have you been?
Well, I've been okay. How about you?
You're sounding very okay. No need to ask you.
Well, I'm okay health-wise, but talk about the economy. I don't think anybody is very okay in Nigeria.
Yes, that's why I keep screaming. Anytime I come behind the MIC, I shout about it, and I'll continue to scream in our ears until something is done.
Yes.
Okay, Dr. Chuka Amukamara is a community pharmacist based in Owerri. Thank you so much for joining us this morning again.
Thank you, my pleasure.
Yes, I'm not alone in the studio. Judge Don is here as well, okay? So you'll be hearing questions from me and my co-host, Judge Don, this morning.
Good morning.
Okay, Judge Don, good morning.
Good morning.
All right, so let's go on to the topic. We want to try as much as we can to sensitize everyone about improper drug disposal, right?
Yeah.
And how it accelerates antibiotic resistance. That's the topic this morning. I know you're wondering which one is improper drug disposal.
Yeah.
I buy medicine for pharmacy. The thing I take and finish, it remain. I throw away. Is that the right way to dispose of the medications that you have bought? When the medications in your store, in your shop, get expired, how do you dispose these things? These are questions we'll be asking this morning. Okay? Salient questions. Now, let's start with the basics. Famchuka. Few days ago, environmental health experts and pharmacists sent out a warning message to Nigeria, right?
Yeah.
That flushing flushing unused and expired medicines down the toilet or discarding them in waste bins is contributing to antimicrobial resistance and also contaminating the soil and water. That was the alarm that they raised few days ago. I know you saw that article.
Yeah, I think
Is it
that's very
true? Is it true?
point.
Let's start off from there.
Of course, it's very true. You know, when we talk about bacterial infection, nobody was born with bacteria in their system. You know, then when we were giving birth to, we were introduced to the environment, we were introduced to the soil, we were introduced to the air that we breathe, and then this air, the soil, the water, were also created by God in their natural, pure forms. And then we started as human, we produce chemicals that have synthetic interaction with this, the soil, the water. So yes, going back to your question, you know, when you take a sample of the soil and you take it to the lab, you find out that there are millions of bacteria cells in the soil, even water. So now these bacteria, they also have a way of interacting with human, probably through the touching on the skin or through inhalation as regards dust particles, and then through the food chain. Maybe we eat meat that came from animal that's eaten infected or took up infestation. So they have a way of still coming back to us.
Okay.
And then these bacteria, some of them are just normal where they are, like the ones you find in the soil. They have some natural responsibilities in that soil where they do a lot of conversions, like the petroleum that they use today to make fuel. They were all products from bacterium and their interactions in the soil. And then when they find their way into our body, they cause what we call opportunistic infections. And now, for example, if this bacterium gets into a human today and it was diagnosed and it was confirmed that this bacterium has the sensitivity over it by, let's say, penicillin, and then this person was given penicillin to take, then after taking the penicillin to wipe off the bacterium in their body, they threw away the penicillin into the soil. So brothers of that bacterium that are in the soil have been exposed to penicillin. And they have two options. They either adapt to that penicillin chemical or be destroyed by the penicillin.
Okay.
Now, because there are more there, you know, there's what we call threshold. They were able to overwhelm that concentration of penicillin that was thrown at them. And then they developed mechanisms to, you know, create resistance against penicillin as a chemical. So after developing this, another innocent person finds his way to interact with the soil. Maybe there was breeze and then dust particles were raised and they find a way into the person's eyes or the nose and the person get infected by now type B type of the same bacterium. Now, the person goes back to the pharmacy or hospital because of existing history that this bacterium could yield to penicillin. This person is given penicillin again. And this time around, the penicillin type has developed resistance already because penicillin has been shown to eat in a lesser amount. So it will no longer work. So this person will now need either additional medication or total change of antibiotics, which will amount to increased cost. The same goes to water. You know, when we flush water, water doesn't really disappear. It finds its way back into the ocean, you know, and still back to the soil because the soil will try to hold back some of the particles that are in the water.
Mm-hmm.
So if you flush it in the toilet, it goes back to the soil. Or if he has a direct interaction with the river, it gets to the river and pollute the aquatic ecosystem. So yes, the message is very correct.
Hmm.
You know.
Okay, you have really broken it down to a layman's understanding, but there is more. For instance, you've talked about flushing it down the drain or down the toilet. You also
Yeah.
talked about it affecting the soil, right? And going back to the ecosystem.
Yeah.
What
Yes.
about when it is burned? For instance, when in most cases we see the NAFDAC and the NDLEA when they go for a sting operation, right?
Yeah.
And then they
Yeah.
discover some counterfeit drugs. What they do, what is televised most of the time, is that they burn these things so that people will know that they
Yes.
actually destroyed it. And then I am concerned, is that not also contaminating the environment?
Okay. When you burn something, you convert it mostly to carbon, and they move into the sky. And then, first of all, you have broken down the chemical structure. You have completely broken it down. And mind you, there are certain temperatures at which certain drugs can be destroyed completely through thermal means.
Okay.
So when you burn a chemical, you've successfully disintegrated the chemical components, into their atoms. Like when you have paracetamol, for example, if I show you the structure of paracetamol, you'll be amazed at how complex it looks. But when you expose it to a very intense heat, you would have broken down, the carbons that join this carbon to the next carbon. Then, for example, now you have petroleum, which is very thick. Then you expose it to heat. Petroleum will be broken down into compartments,
Okay.
whereby you have methane, you have ethane, you have up to the petrol that we use, up to the gas that we use at home. They were all produced from heat. So when you expose heat, it destroys these chemicals into their unique particles that will even be almost the same with compositions of the soil. Do you get?
I get you.
But then the right thing to do, because when we talk about burning, when you see NAFDAC burn drugs, it might be different from you burning it in your house, because there are some drugs that they may have removed from the total drugs that they collected before burning.
Okay.
There are some that when you're exposed to such temperature without control, they can form into explosives, and they can burn your house.
Wow.
So yes, when we call them medicines, it looks very simple.
Yeah.
But all of these things are chemicals, and they are very dangerous. They in fact, I remember the days in our pharmaceutical chemistry lab when I was in the university. So we were doing one experiment, and then instead of measuring 0.2 milligram, a fellow student mistakenly measured 2 grams. And if you had the explosion that happened,
Wow.
you can see the pinch, just 2 grams, was able to cause very massive explosion. So it's not safe for us to, in our home, start burning these things. Even the community pharmacy who helps NAFDAC to recycle expired drugs, they don't burn it in the community pharmacy. They take it back to NAFDAC.
Okay.
There will be proper documentation of the chemicals that have been returned, so that NAFDAC will isolate the ones that can be directly burned down and the ones that need special treatment before they will be burned down. So it has to do with the chemical composition of that drug.
Okay. So straight question, right? Help us understand the proper disposal methods. I mean, for expired medications, unused medications. For instance, growing up, yes, as a teenager, I would always wonder how big pharmacies and medicine stores dispose of expired medications. Even up till date, I do not know. I'm sorry, but it's
Yeah.
true. And that's the essence of this program. And then you have some adults, especially the people who have children, right? They have a lot of medications. I can relate. Plenty in their. If you go to their rooms, you'll be shocked at the amount or the quantity of medicines you will find. Not in use, so they are just there. Right?
Yeah.
So what is the proper way to dispose those drugs? Now you're telling us we should not burn it. We should not flush it down the drain. We should not throw it into the bin. What do we do?
Okay. Before this program, before you called me, my pharmacy have an advocacy program that we've been doing, trying to sensitize the people on the right way to, dispose of unused medicines. And properly, there's what we call take back program.
Okay.
Whereby you take the medications back to pharmacy, because every drug belongs to pharmacy. In countries where you have proper distribution network for medications, every medicine belongs to the pharmacy.
Okay.
Unlike Nigeria, that is chaotic. But then, if you buy a medication from a pharmacy, for example, and then after using medication, you couldn't finish it, and you find out there are medicines in your house that have expired, and you bring them back to us, we cannot reject them, because it is our responsibility to make sure that the community that we're in charge of, the society and the environment, is protected against drug actions. So there's no pharmacy around you that you take expired drugs to, that they will not accept it from you.
Are you for real?
Yes.
I'm just hearing this for the first time
Of
in
course,
my whole life.
When in a platform where I shared a sort of sensitization flyer, someone asked me, we have been disposing of medication for the past 30 years of my age, and nothing has happened to our soil, nothing has happened to our water, and now you are telling us to bring them to the pharmacy. And I replied, I told him, yes, nothing has happened to the soil for the past 30 years, but something has happened to the antibiotics that were, discovered, strenuously discovered in the past 30, 40 years. Before now, if you have, let's say, urinary tract infection, and then the person walks into a pharmacy to request for, let's say...
antibiotics.
Yeah, the list of the antibiotics I'm trying to pick up now. Okay, let's say amoxicillin of 100 naira would take care of that. Before now, let's say in the last 30 years.
Okay.
Yeah, but from 30 years to now, there's possibility that the penicillin cannot handle the ordinary urinary tract infection.
Very true.
So instead of 100 naira, you would end up spending over, around 10,000 to treat ordinary urinary tract infection.
Wonderful.
So, and I told the person that, you see, you are not seeing the effect on the soil or on the water, but we, the scientists, we know that what you are doing in your hiding place has a way of coming back to all of us. Yeah.
Wow.
So the right thing to do is to take them to the pharmacy. The pharmacy will take them to NAFDAC, who has, standard way of destroying and who has that sole responsibility
of destroying
to destroy the drugs and the chemicals. Mind you, the pharmacies, currently, NAFDAC charges pharmacies some amount to help them to destroy the drugs.
Yeah, I saw that.
So you see the bulk of responsibility that even the pharmacy is waging for you and saying, yes, bring it, no problem. We will still return it to NAFDAC.
Wow. Okay, so I have expired medications. I bring them to your pharmacy. You take them to NAFDAC, and you still pay to get those drugs destroyed. Why must you pay? Why should you pay?
Well, that should be a question thrown to Nigerian system. Yeah, but if we want to really help the pharmacy who is paying,
Okay.
In one of my programs, I told people to go to a particular pharmacy, register with the pharmacy, just like you register in a hospital. Let them take responsibility of all your medications. Even when they don't have it, tell them you must provide this medication.
Okay.
So that when, as you are supporting them in that, they will be ready to, take
help
that
you.
extra responsibility of destroying whatever you bring to them. Yes.
Okay.
So now when you go to patent, you buy all the trailer loads of medication, you leave them there, expire in your house, you take it to the suffering pharmacy near you.
you know exactly what is in my mind. The typical Nigerian. You dare not come and dump drugs for waiting.
Some will come to my pharmacy. They'll tell you, I get this medication from the market, and it's cheap in the market, but you bought it. Probably didn't work. You now come back to my place, because if it worked, you may not be coming to look for the same medication in a pharmacy. So when they are finished buying it from the market, maybe after listening to this program, the person wants to take it to pharmacy to go and destroy. Well, we are good people. The pharmacists will still accept it.
Not all. I beg to differ. Some people some pharmacists.
Anyone that refuses, just let me know. I know they will accept.
I will compile. I will get a list.
You will accept to take responsibility.
Me? No. To carry someone else's base on my head. Okay, so this is getting interesting, and I know that people would want to call in to ask questions. So what Famchuka has said basically is that we should stop flushing down expired medications or used medications or unused medications. We shouldn't do that, because it goes back into the soil, goes back into the air or wherever, affects the soil, affects the ecosystem, and then contributes to antimicrobial resistance, right? What does that mean? That is why when you're sick and you take antibiotics that you used to take in the last 7, 8, 9, 10 years, if you take it now, it might not work. Why? Those organisms have become resistant to that particular medication. That's the big grammar that Famchuka has been speaking since morning, right? But let's get your calls. How have you been disposing your medications? We want to find out from you. You can also go to Facebook, Echo FM 100.7. Go drop your comments. Let us learn together and unlearn. Because you see this thing I just heard this morning. All my life, I have never heard it. I follow the throwaway medicine. I no go lie you. Don, how do you dispose yours?
But we actually consume ours.
You consume everything.
Yes.
You're good people. I belong to the class of people that after 2 days I throw my medicine under the bed.
And I'm happy we're actually taking ours. They say 3 times for a number of days or weeks. We finish it. In fact, I will insist my children should finish
judiciously. Not
you.
me. No. I come here to preach, but you see medications, oh my God. At the sight, at the smell alone, that sickness don't come out. All right, let's go open up the phone lines.
Okay, and the phone line to call is 0911 20022 0707 454 1014.
Okay, you can also send us a WhatsApp message on 0707 491 3438.
Hello.
Love Wakeze. You're welcome.
Good morning.
Go ahead quickly. Go ahead quickly, please. You have few minutes.
The number one celebrity radio caller for the whole Imo State. Let me get the award. Love Wakeze is my name. I just want to ask one question.
Okay.
Why is that? If the doctor can find out that this pharmacy is selling maybe drug we no good. Those expiring dog, expiring to the drugs. But when they find out that maybe the owner of that pharmacy have money, they will just leave that person. That person will still use that same medicine. They see that. Why is it like that?
All right, we'll try to answer. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much.
We are not regulatory agencies. Famchuka is a pharmacist and a doctor and not a regulatory agent. However, we'll try to respond to your question. More calls, please.
Hello, good morning. Hello.
Okay, and for some reason we couldn't hear you. Keep your calls coming in this morning. 0911 20022 0707 454 1014.
Hello.
No, the same diva.
Hi.
My
Good
daughter.
morning.
Good morning.
Yes, my daughter, Ekoma, right?
Oh, yes, sir.
My name is George.
Okay.
George. Why I call you my daughter is you are my
Because of
daughter.
the name,
My
sir.
name is George.
So,
yes,
okay.
yes.
where are you calling from, George?
Yeah.
George from Oji.
From
Okay, you're
Oji.
welcome, George.
Go ahead, please.
Yes. Please, let me concur with you. This is my first time of hearing this. You know,
Oh, okay.
how I dispose the drugs that I have not used or my family have not used.
Okay.
Just like you said, I will sweep it, put it in a dustbin. I will go fling it away.
Oh.
In a
Okay.
dustbin. Yes. But I so much thank God for your program today.
Thank you.
Quite enlightening. This is my first time of hearing this, that I can just pack all those drugs, go to a pharmacy, with those beautiful ladies without embarrassment, because they will just look at me as a madman. That is what my mind is telling me. Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
And that's why we
We
need
pack
more
them in
sense.
waterproof. We go to with those beautiful ladies, because there's one close to me. I was just imagining how I will pack those drugs in a bag. Just go and give them, and no. I can just comfortably do that. But
Yeah.
any insult or embarrassment, I will call the doctor that is speaking, that is online now, and then report. Yes, George from Oji. Thank you.
Thank
George,
you very much,
thank
George.
you. Thank you so much. Famchuka,
Yeah.
I have to come back to you. Embarrassment on the part of pharmacy staff. He doesn't want it at all. And it still boils down to what we said last before we opened up the phone line. So what can they do? Quickly.
Yeah.
Well, graciously, I am the the PRO of Association of Community Pharmacists of Nigeria, Imo State branch.
Okay.
And by God's grace, I know that members of ACPN in Imo are very lovely people, and they love to see Imo people protected from drug actions. So I think the person returning the medication should, instead of giving it to the pharmacy staff, ask to meet the pharmacist.
Okay.
Yes, because the pharmacist naturally knows that he has the responsibility of even following you home to make sure that the drug he gave you doesn't become a poison. So it goes beyond packing medication to you and telling you bye-bye. Yes, there's a part of follow-up that requires the pharmacist to, make sure that even as you are leaving, his spirit or her spirit goes with you to make sure the medications are safe with you. So when you bring the medication back to the pharmacist to help you dispose of, you just ask to meet the pharmacist, and they will accept it from you.
Thank you.
But like I said earlier, because they are spending money to even help you dispose these things, always identify with them, patronize them, make them your health expert. Keep them very close. I tell people, have your family doctor, but most importantly, have your family pharmacist, because everything ends in medication, and some of the actions are irreversible.
Very true. Okay, thank you so much. So, George, you have heard, though, don't go and be smiling with those beautiful ladies and you carry expired drugs and give them. Go straight to the registered pharmacist. I mean, the person in charge. Then they would know how to take it up from there. Thank you so much, Famchuka. Okay, and then Love Wakeze asked a question and he said that most times pharmacies are raided, right? And they discover counterfeit medications. But along the line, it will seem more like maybe during the investigation or whatever, these people will be left and the pharmacy will still be there. They will continue with the business of still selling, not all pharmacies, please. I'm trying to quote what he said, right? They will continue with their business. Nobody would disturb them. So he's asking, why is that so? What is, the pharmacies, or what are the pharmacists who are genuine doing about it?
Yeah. I want to tell you that probably Love Wakeze said that from some of the news headlines that when you see 3,300 pharmacies were closed down, they will quote figures of number of pharmacies. But when you go closer, when you open the news headline and you read in between, you realize that most of these are patent medicine stores, that were sealed. And who is a pharmacist? Who is a patent medicine dealer?
Yeah.
The pharmacist spent minimum of 6 years in the university and other trainings to become a pharmacist and have his license, which can be withdrawn from the person. So when you know that after spending this number of years, that you can wake up one day and they say your license has been taken away from you, I'm very sure you know that the person will not joke with that license.
At all.
The person will not. But when you read on the news that 300 pharmacies were locked up in Owerri, you would even ask yourself, how many pharmacies are in Owerri?
Okay.
And then immediately after the news, you go around, you see that the real pharmacies are still open, which means they are not the ones that were locked up.
Okay.
But that does not mean that some pharmacies, in quote, do not commit some of these things. Yes, so because in every profession, in every business, there will always be the bad guys. And then until the regulatory authority confirms that this place was found dealing on substandard products or expired products, we cannot say right now.
Okay.
But talk about, let's even say, if you walk into a pharmacy and you were given a medication mistakenly that probably expired last month, I don't think that when you bring it back, because right now I'm trying to say that all of us should be watchful of expiry date, just both the pharmacist, both the end user.
Okay.
So when they mistakenly give you something that expired maybe 2 months, 3 months, and you go back to say, please, this has expired, of course they're going to change it for you.
Okay.
And again, one of the reasons the drug may expire on the shelf without them noticing is because pharmacist is a human being who may not know that this thing may be expired.
Okay.
Or in a pharmacy where they have a lot of staff and the staff was assigned to monitor that particular shelf. And this staff, maybe laziness and negligence, makes him or her not to notice that this item is about to expire. And now we are using systems to follow up to make sure that you get notification when a particular product will expire.
Okay.
And we are in a country where there is no light to even run some of the systems. So it's not every pharmacy that has computer running their sales and inventory.
Very true.
So when you are giving medication, also check the expiry date by yourself and politely say, please, this has expired. But when they now insist that you must take this, that is when it becomes a problem.
Okay. Thank you very much. So you have heard it all. There's a difference between patent medicine stores. Chemist.
About the patent.
Calm down. You go and do, what do they call it, apprenticeship, for 1 year, if you even stay up to 1 year, because the culture in Nigeria now, the moment you stay 3 months and you see that
you've done your work
you
very
start
well.
answering doctor.
You start answering, you even use a more professional term. Doc.
3 months is even too much.
No, the moment they know how to treat malaria and typhoid and then infection, that is it.
And they put
needle in your vein. They have become doc.
And Nigerians will be submitting themselves to be used for experiments.
Oh my goodness. Okay, we have this message on WhatsApp.
Okay, Auntie Mary, I am Glory Chika texting from Owerri. The unused drugs you are talking about, I have them many at home. In fact, my body no fit carry the recent drugs I just bought. I drop it and buy another one. I have them many here. What will I do with them?
Chuka has answered you.
Yes.
Try to go to a competent pharmacy and make sure you meet with the pharmacist, and they would help you dispose of the medication.
Yeah.
But also try to establish a relationship with them so that they do not embarrass you.
Yeah.
Okay, so I was going to ask you one important question. Famchuka, are you there?
Yes, I'm here.
Okay, so in that story that I saw, I don't know what to call it, right? The write-up that I saw, that toxicologist was advising the government to try to have a system where drugs can be recycled, just like we recycle plastic and other things. That was his suggestion. Do you think it is possible for us to have such a system? And then if it's not possible, what else do you think the government can do apart from, I know you mentioned the Take Back program, right?
Yeah.
Do you have any other suggestion? Because I know that health officials are listening.
Yes.
Yeah, in fact, one of the physicians that read my e-flyer this morning recommended having, because one of the things that will discourage people is the transportation to go back to maybe Owerri where they bought medication to dispose them of. So instead of that, they should have a specific drug recycle bin in every community, in every local government, so that government will have delegated agencies that will go around and collect this. And then, in my view, I also feel that of course, every community has primary health centers. So government can make use of the primary health centers to recollect these drugs back to NAFDAC. But now, another factor that the government need to look into is the fact that pharmacists pay NAFDAC, which is a government-owned agency, to destroy these things. So if that expenses is not there for a pharmacist, imagine after doing my business for the year and I have a loss on expired products of about 5 million, and I'll pay NAFDAC to destroy my 5 million.
Doesn't
You know
make
how
any
painful that can
sense.
be.
It doesn't make any
So,
sense to me.
So if the government would also adopt community pharmacies to be in their primary health center arms to also help them in collecting this, since they are the first port of call for people, government should add incentives to encourage community pharmacies to keep sensitizing the people, keep collecting these things, return them back to NAFDAC. Why NAFDAC will not charge you, government should also pay a token into your account at the end of the year to encourage you for even the ones that you are losing in your shop, in your pharmacy.
Okay.
So, yeah, the government has a lot to do. And when they sit up, we will definitely know.
When they sit up, we'll definitely know. And the last message we'll be taking on Facebook says, good afternoon or good morning. Sorry to ask. Oh, God. Okay, giving it to the pharmacist. What does NAFDAC do? Oh my goodness, this is upside down.
Yeah.
Your write-up is really confusing, but I think what you're trying to write here is that he says he personally destroys his own, he burns his own drug. However, if the pharmacy gives it to NAFDAC, what does NAFDAC do with it?
Yeah.
That's what he's just asking.
Yeah, of course, NAFDAC has, like I said, they have a system of destroying drugs, and they know the drugs based on their chemical composition. Because of course, in the NAFDAC, you have is a multidisciplinary agency currently headed by a pharmacist, and they have a lot of pharmacists in their laboratory. They have a lot of people that have studied industrial chemistry. So these are people that have been trained to understand the chemical interaction of all the drugs, to be able to separate each of them and destroy them separately so that there won't be explosion and all the other untoward effects.
Okay, thank you. And let's see if this is going to go through.
Hello.
Hello, yes, Paul.
Could you speak out loud, please?
Okay, afternoon.
Yeah.
What I just want to talk with what we are discussing there.
Okay.
We know that you say they should take the NAFDAC for destruction.
Yes.
The
those drugs.
pharmacy now,
Yes.
not
The
the end
pharma-
users.
From pharmacy to the NAFDAC, that's the end of the thing will be to destroy it.
Yes.
One of the things that finished Africa is the spirit of waste. If those drugs can be recycled, then why do we now have to destroy them? If not to find a way of recycling those drugs, because drugs are very, very expensive in nature.
Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Salient question there. Why is Africa wasteful? I'm not going to answer. I'm an African.
I think I like the way he replied us. There is this the place where I buy medications for my pharmacy.
Okay.
Companies give them certain expiry date to return. Whereby, for example, if something will expire in 3 months, you take it back to the company, they will know how to remodify it, bring it back to life. But the ones coming from homes may have expired 10 years ago, 2 years ago. They may have left that limit where companies can recycle. So like you suggested, the only people that can shoulder the responsibility of totally recycling all those chemicals is the government.
Okay.
Because it's $1 billion, cost responsibility.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you so much, Famchuka. We have barely 2 minutes before we leave the studio this morning. So if there is anything you feel we have not touched on, you can help us, dish out that information, and then you give us your parting words.
Okay. Apart from the fact that there's antimicrobial resistance, there's this growing issues of kidney problem that we cannot completely tell the causes. So I was just thinking this morning that some of the chemicals, apart from antibiotics, there are so many other chemicals that people flush into toilets, and they end up finding their way back into the water we drink, the food, the vegetables that we eat, because when I did my project, I took a mango from a mechanic village and mango from the bush, and I found out that the one in mechanic village contains some of heavy metals that came out from the mechanic environment. Yes, so the way we dispose of chemical in the country can be a contributory factor to the number of diseases that we're seeing these days, including kidney problems. So I want to encourage Nigerians, listeners, Imolites to partner with pharmacies in their community. Apart from medicines, pharmacy license permits the pharmacist to handle other poisons. So even the insecticide in your house that you don't understand how it is behaving, if you have a very good relationship with the pharmacist, you can go to the pharmacist and say, please, explain this to me or help me dispose of this, so that we'll have a very safe environment. Thank you.
Thank you
Thank
so
you so
much.
Thank
you took out time from your busy schedule. I know how busy you can be, Famchuka, but I'd like to thank you for sensitizing myself. Dawn, I don't know if you were, you got a thing or two.
I was enlightened.
You are enlightened. You're full of wisdom and knowledge.
Mixed with the one we did yesterday.
Yes, Famchuka, I didn't tell you. I didn't mention. Yesterday we talked about microplastics and how it's in our body system already. And you've just confirmed from what you said. Well, thank you so much, okay? We appreciate you, Dr. Chuka Amukamara, community pharmacist based here in Owerri. We appreciate you as usual. And we say more grease and more power to your elbow.
Thank you so much.
All right. And there we go. Bye-bye from here. And yes, to everyone who's trying to make an impact, we see you. But before I say what I want to say, Dawn, we are leaving. We are leaving.
They've said it all. A word they say is enough for the wise. Please, let's do the needful. That's all I'll say.
Okay, let us do the needful. We keep talking, keep talking, and I believe that some people are listening.
Yeah.
It might not make any direct impact now, right? But in the next 1, 2, 3 years, all these things we've been saying will keep re-echoing in the minds of people who should take action.
Yeah.
Trust me when I say what I say. It might not happen now, but someday they would always make reference to all the things that we say in the studio. Yeah. So please, antimicrobial resistance is real.
It's real.
Do not dispose chemicals anyhow. Do not dispose drugs anyhow, because you'll be reintroducing it into the system.
Yeah.
No wonder people are dying anyhow. This is one of the causes. Well, we have to go. Thank you for listening. And to everyone who sent in messages, to those who called, we appreciate you. Tomorrow we'll make a return with yet another entertaining topic. My name is Mary Omeniwo. They call me the Slim Diva. You're most adorable.
And I am Judge Dawn Ikoma.
Mav King, thank you so much. And at noon, we'll bring you the news. Don't go anywhere.
Echo FM.
Echo FM 100.7, the fresh news people.
This week to help those in need.
If you know that it's God Almighty that created you and created we Nigerians like you need to do good things for us because the masses are suffering. How you can suspend me here? Are we your slaves?
And I'm going to win this election.
That is the truth.
Stay informed with Echo FM 100.7. Join us for exclusive interviews with experts, breaking updates on local and global events, and in-depth coverage of issues impacting our community. Tune in every weekday at 6:30 a.m., 12 noon, 2 p.m., and 6 p.m. for our major news bulletin in English, Igbo, and Pidgin language. For more inquiries, you can reach us through our email, echofm@thekingmail.com. You can follow us on our social media handles at Echo FM. Echo FM 100.7 Owerri. We are the Fresh News People.
It's exactly noon. Good afternoon to you and welcome to the Global News at noon right here on Echo FM 100.7 Owerri, the station with fair and balanced reporting. My name is Mary Omeniwo, bringing you the latest news and breaking stories around the world. Here are the headlines. SANU and NASU to suspend strike May 11th. Anambra police arrest 2 brothers for murder. Dangote refinery hikes petrol price to 1,350 naira. On the foreign scene, African nations threaten retaliatory action against South Africa. And Tinubu engages global investors in Paris. On sports news, FIFA President Gianni Infantino defends high World Cup ticket prices. Details shortly. And of course, we start off with national stories. This one says the non-academic staff in Nigeria's public universities have moved to suspend their ongoing nationwide strike, raising hopes for the resumption of full academic activities across campuses. The Joint Action Committee of the Non-Academic Staff Union of Educational and Associated Institutions and the Senior Staff Association of Nigerian Universities directed its branches to commence processes for the suspension of the strike effective Monday, 11th May 2026. The decision followed a series of meetings between the unions and the federal government over unresolved demands, particularly the renegotiation of the 2009 agreement and welfare-related concerns. In a circular sent to branch chairpersons, the union stated that they had secured a firm commitment from the federal government to conclude all outstanding renegotiations within 2 weeks of suspending the industrial action. According to the unions, the government explained that any further review of its earlier offer would require the approval of President Bola Ahmed Tinubu. They expressed appreciation to members for their compliance with the strike directive, describing the solidarity show nationwide as encouraging. And meanwhile, 2 brothers have been arrested by the police in Anambra State for allegedly killing 3 members of the same family and burying them in a shallow grave. The incident, it was gathered, took place at Ukpo, Nnewi South local government area of the state. Police Public Relations Officer Tochukwu Ikenga stated that Emmanuel Wabweze Nna Ekezie, who's 33 years, and his elder brother Clement Nna Ekezie, 69 years, allegedly murdered the 3 members of the same family and disappeared. He stated that the suspects during interrogation confessed to the crime and led the police to the site where the victims were buried in a shallow grave. The remains of the victims, he noted, have been exhumed and deposited in the morgue for autopsy, adding that preliminary investigations show that the heinous act may have resulted from a dispute over the ownership of inherited parcels of land. He noted that the Commissioner of Police, Anambra State Command, Ikioye Orutugu, has strongly condemned the act, describing it as barbaric and unacceptable, and assured the public that the command remained committed to ensuring that justice is served on the matter. And over to political stories, the Independent National Electoral Commission, INEC, has announced that the nationwide continuous voter registration exercise will resume for its 3rd and final phase on Monday, May 11, 2026. It held a parley in Makurdi, Benue State with stakeholders and opinion leaders of the 4 suppressed state constituencies toward their possible restoration in compliance with court orders. Chairman of the Information and Voter Education Committee, INEC, Mohammed Haruna, stated that the exercise, which was earlier suspended on April 17, 2026, would run until July 10, 2026. INEC explained that the suspension of the 2nd phase was necessary to enable it clean up the voter register following its publication for claims and objections by registrants. The Commission urged eligible Nigerians who have attained the age of 18, as well as those who were unable to register during earlier phases, to take advantage of the final window to do so. It also advised already registered voters seeking to transfer their registration, replace lost or damaged permanent voter cards, PVCs, or correct their biodata to visit its online portal or any of its state and local council offices nationwide. Reports say Katsina has domesticated the National Safe Schools policy aimed at protecting students and teachers. Governor Diko Rada, who announced this at the official launch of the policy in Katsina State, also reaffirmed the government's commitment to safeguarding learning environments across the state. The governor described the initiative as a strategic step toward addressing growing threats to education, including violence, intimidation, and disruption in schools. Mr. Rada stated that the policy adopted from the 2021 national framework was tailored to reflect the peculiar security realities of Katsina State, particularly in rural and vulnerable communities. The governor commended members of the State Steering Committee and development partners, particularly Save the Children International, for their roles in successfully domesticating the policy. He acknowledged the Children's Parliament's advocacy efforts, announcing the release of 33 million naira to support its activities and amplify children's voices in governance process. It's exactly 7 minutes past noon. If you just tune in, you are listening to the global news at noon right here on Echo FM 100.7. Here's a recap of the headlines. SANU, NASU to suspend strike May 11. Anambra police arrest 2 brothers for murder. Dangote refinery hikes petrol price to 1,350 naira. On the foreign scene, African nations threaten retaliatory action against South Africa. And Tinubu engages global investors in Paris. And on sports news still to come, FIFA President Gianni Infantino defends high World Cup ticket prices. We'll bring you details after this break. Stay tuned.
This is a public service announcement. In an effort to enhance road safety and minimize the risks of crash-related fatalities, Federal Road Safety Corps Imo Sector Command is urging citizens to promptly report any road crashes to the Corps Emergency Hotline. In the event of a road crash, citizens are advised to call the Corps Emergency Toll-Free Hotline at 122 to report the incident or any of the Imo Sector Hotline 0913 960 0904. Provide as much information as possible, including the location of the crash and the number of people involved. Stay on the line to receive guidance from the Corps Response Team. The Sector Commander urges all citizens to take an active role in promoting road safety by promptly reporting any road crashes. Together, we can work towards reducing the rate of road crash fatalities and creating safer roads for everyone. This message is brought to you by Echo FM 100.7 in partnership with the Federal Road Safety Corps Imo Sector Command as part of our corporate social responsibility. Thank you for listening.
Thank you so much for staying tuned. If you just tuned in, you are listening to the Global News at Noon right here on Echo FM 100.7 Owerri. Over now to the rest of the news. In business news, Dangote Refinery has effected another upward price adjustment, raising its ex-depot price of premium motor spirit to 1,350 naira per litre. The latest adjustment, confirmed by a senior official of Dangote Refinery, represents a 75 naira increase from the previous 1,275 naira per litre, reinforcing a pattern of frequent price recalibrations that has defined the market in recent weeks. The official stated that the new gantry price has been implemented across all loading channels, forcing marketers to immediately adjust their pricing templates amid tight supply conditions and shifting cost realities. The price increase comes barely a week after Dangote Refinery raised its ex-depot price from 1,200 naira to 1,275 naira per litre, highlighting the rapid pace of adjustments in the downstream market and the refinery's growing influence on domestic fuel pricing. Over now to the foreign scene, where diplomatic pressure on South Africa is mounting as more African countries threaten retaliatory measures over renewed xenophobic attacks targeting foreign nationals, particularly Nigerians. While no government has officially announced the total closure of borders, threats of blockades, trade suspension, and heightened security checks are gaining traction across the region in what analysts and foreign policy experts describe as the most serious diplomatic fallout since the end of the apartheid. The latest wave of violence, which erupted between April 27 and 29, 2026, saw locals in Pretoria, Johannesburg, and other cities stage protests against illegal immigration, with Nigerians and other African nationals bearing the brunt. The attacks have revived long-standing claims that migrants accept lower wages, dominate informal trade, and are involved in crime, such as drug trafficking and fraud. Allegations police data do not substantiate as a nationwide trend. Meanwhile, Nigeria and Ghana have taken the lead in diplomatic pushback, warning their citizens to exercise caution and demanding urgent action from Pretoria. The federal government of Nigeria has stressed that immediate priority remain the safety of its nationals and pledged to pursue all diplomatic avenues to secure their protection. Still on the foreign scene, President Bola Ahmed Tinubu has outlined the next phase of his administration's economic agenda, pledging to deepen fiscal discipline, entrench transparency and ensure policy consistency as he engaged global investors in Paris, France. Speaking during a high-level meeting with leading international investment firms, the president noted that his post-2027 outlook will focus on consolidating reforms already underway while maintaining stability in policy execution. One of the investors had sought clarity on the administration's direction beyond 2027, to which Tinubu responded with assurances of continuity in reform implementation and governance discipline. A statement issued by his special advisor on information and strategy, Bayo Onanuga, quoted the president as saying, "The focus remains on policy stability and diligent execution to ensure these strategic shifts translate into concrete benefits for all Nigerians," unquote. And lastly, in the world of sports this afternoon, FIFA President Gianni Infantino defended World Cup ticket prices, insisting that football's global governing body was obliged to take advantage of U.S. laws that allow tickets to be resold for thousands of dollars above the face value. FIFA has faced criticism over the cost of World Cup tickets, with fan organizations like the Football Supporters Europe branding the pricing structure as extortionate and a monumental betrayal. According to the Football Supporters of Europe, they filed a lawsuit with the European Commission in March targeting FIFA over excessive ticket prices for the tournament. Speaking at the Milken Institute's Global Conference in Beverly Hills, Infantino stated that the prices reflected demand to watch the World Cup. He also noted that FIFA received in excess of 500 million ticket requests for 2026, compared with fewer than 50 million combined for the 2018 and 2022 World Cups. And that's all for the news this afternoon, edited by Benjamin Joseph. For more information and inquiries, visit our social media platforms on Facebook at Echo FM and Echo FM 100.7 Owerri, X at Echo FM_Owerri, Instagram at Echo FM 100.7, and YouTube at Echo FM 100.7. You can listen to us anywhere in the world by visiting www.echofm.net. That is www.echofm.net. My name is Mary Omeniwode. Thank you for listening. Good afternoon to you.
Echo FM.
Echo FM 100.7, the fresh news people.
Echo FM.